Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now. India versus England, the 5-test match series. Remember, so much has changed ever since that final test got called off because of COVID last year. There is unfinished business. But before we get to that part of the unfinished business, we must recap everything that happened in this test series because a lot has changed ever since then. Virat Kohli was the leader then for India. He isn't anymore. Rohit Sharma will lead India. Joe Root led England in that series. That isn't happening either. Ben Stokes is the new captain for England. There's so much to revise. Let's dive straight in. First test match, Trent Bridge, Nottingham, a place considered to be a batter's paradise. England were batting first, but Jasprit Bumrah had other plans. 4 for 46 and England was skittled out for just 183. Come India's batting, new superstars were seeming to be born. Rahul would open the innings in absence of Mayank Agarwal. Remember, he was a replacement. Mayank Agarwal was the designated opener for India. He scored 84. Rohit Sharma pulled in runs as an opener. Then there was a half century from Ravindra Jadeja. India had a good first innings lead. In the second innings, Joe Root seemed to be the only man standing for England. They were bundled out, setting India a target of 209 runs. This seems well within the reach for Team India. And they were on course. They were 52 for 1, but no play was allowed beyond that because of rain. And Indian fans kept rueing a missed chance because this did seem like a very likely victory for Team India that eventually ended in a drawn first test match. Second test match, the Lords. Now, Rahul had shown glimpses of the kind of form that he was in that first test match, 84 runs in the first innings. But he kept the show for the big stage at the Lords, where he scored a century, 129 runs. There were runs from other Indian batters as well. India put on the board a very convincing 364 runs. But England weren't going to back down from a fight. Joe Root scored an unbeaten 180. That gave England a slender lead, but in these kind of situations, a first innings lead can be very handy. India came into bat in the second innings and was struggling at 209 for 8. There were contributions from batters, but no one really went on to score big runs. Ajinkya Rahane was a rare glimpse, but then towards the end came that partnership. Two Indian bowlers, Bumrah-Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, came out like gladiators, wielding their bat like swords. Bumrah-Shami scored a half century. Jasprit Bumrah scored a 34, a sizable partnership that took the target to a 272 runs on the board, something that would take some chasing down from England. England came out to bat and the fireworks were ignited by captain Virat Kohli, who in the team talk before the team were going to take the field for the final innings, told his bowlers that the 60 overs should feel like hell for the batters out there. And the bowlers really came up on that promise for their captain, especially Mohammad Siraj. 4 wickets in the first innings and then 4 crucial wickets in the second innings. England were bundled out for 120, a famous win at the Lords for Team India. Only their third at this ground, and suddenly they were 1-0 up in the series. Third test match, Headingley leads. India were coming off from a brilliant win at the Lords. All the momentum was with them. All the talk around Team India was only positive. But come this test match, tables were going to turn. India were bowled out for just 78 in the first innings. And then England put on a massive score of 432 runs on the board. A massive lead. Now, the one thing that we've seen with this Indian team over the past few years is they don't back down. And they did not back down from a fight in that second innings. There was defiance in Pujara's 91, batters batting around him, but they could only manage a 278 on the board, an innings defeat for Team India. An innings win under their belt, England came into this Oval Test match with a lot of confidence. They won the toss, opted to field first, and the confidence only grew because they skittled India out for just 191. Half centuries from Virat Kohli and Shardul Thakur, but they did need a big score on the board. England came out to bat. Jasprit Bumrah removed both the openers in the same over. There was hope for Team India. But then Ollie Pope and Chris Woke scored half centuries. England managed 290 runs on the board. A 99 runs first innings lead, a sizable one in these conditions. But then came the second innings and then came the man. Rohit Sharma scoring his first overseas test century for India in conditions that were not easy to bat in at all. He took the attack to the opposition. There were other batters who came in with the contributions for Team India and they had a massive score of 466 runs on the board. England was set 368 runs to chase. Not an easy task, but they were on course. A 100-run opening partnership. Then Shardul Thakur got the first wicket at a 100 run and then the floodgates opened. England were bundled out for 210. A famous win for India, their first at the Oval since their last win in 1971. Now here's a trivia. Since 1986, India had never won more than one test match in a test series in England. Here they were heading into the final test match at Manchester, 2-1 up, but then COVID infections rescheduled that test match and here we are months later. Things have changed, captains have changed in both the camps. Team India have a shot at history. Over to you, Rohit and Co.